Well, I hope you enjoyed the footage of Philadelphia, where I live in the neighborhood. And it's funny because this is actually pretty much the same area that Average Joe grew up in. He grew up just a few blocks from here, from this very park that we're in today.
And I used to play in this park,
so
where we're sitting right here.
A lot of memories for this guy growing up here most of his life. And it's just funny that I live right around the corner as well. So it's exciting to be in the neighborhood today.
Absolutely.
Hope you enjoyed those shots of the city. But today, on the channel, it's just another casual conversation with my friend Average Joe. And today I want to talk about Microbrand watches. For one, because I don't have too much experience with them. I know you have a little bit more.
Just a little bit though.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
Yeah. But like, I just like a lot of what I see from Microbrands.
Yeah.
And they seem so high quality, and the price isn't as high as some other more established brands. And so I wanted to talk about them today. Even though I have never pulled the trigger on one yet, I'm really considering doing that soon.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to talk about 3 watches from 3 separate Microbrands that I'm considering, and Average Joe is going to do the same. But before we get into that, just want to do a quick wrist check. What are you wearing today, Joe?
Well, today I actually grabbed the Hamilton Khaki with the cream dial.
Classic.
It actually happened to be still working after about sitting on my desk for about 2 days. So
nice.
I think this thing has a 80-hour power reserve, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Beautiful,
right.
Beautiful piece. It has a lot of American heritage, early 1900s being established in Lancaster, PA. So that's probably more information that you needed, but that's what I'm wearing today.
Man, every time I see the Hamilton khakis, I just love them, and makes me want to pick up one for myself.
Very clean dial, man.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
I got my Alpina Seastrong Diver Heritage, kind of an obtainable grail that I was able to pick up for really cheap, and just a watch that I'm still loving. That really kind of almost orange case in the right light.
It really looks almost like a rose gold, but actually more copperish.
Yeah.
Even though I know it's the bronze dial, so it's
right.
got a lot of things going on there, and it's very shiny too.
Yeah.
It's very blingy.
Definitely polished, a lot of surfaces, and
beautiful watch.
And it's a compressor style dive watch, which is something I've been drawn to. So.
And I had the pleasure of actually reviewing this baby and keeping it for a little bit. So I enjoyed it.
Hands-on experience with it. Good, man. So. Microbrands, that's what we're talking about today.
Okay.
And like we said, you've had some experience. What are some of the Microbrands that you've had on your channel so far?
So I've had Matthew & Sons, which is an Australian based brand. It's a father and son, and they produce I can't pronounce the name, so I'm actually going to just ask you to put it on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, I remember what you're talking about.
It's the name of their jellyfish.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you the name unless I'm actually sounding it out in front of me.
That's a cool watch, though.
It's a cool watch. The case is actually shaped like a jellyfish, and they have these very unique, bold colors, fun colors as well. So I actually had the purple one sent out to me.
Nice.
And what I also like about the brand is that they actually give you the option of where the crown sits. So I actually have it sitting at the 10 o'clock position, cool. Which I don't have any watches that have that. So that's one brand. Another one we'll be discussing here, I have personal experience with.
Right, okay. Yeah, so what I asked Average Joe to do was pick 3 Microbrands that he's kind of enjoying right now, looking into, and then pick 3 specific watches from each one of those brands. And so we're just going to talk about what we like about them and kind of go through the list. So what you got for us?
I would like to point out Zampieri, the watch that you just reviewed.
That was another one.
Really nice guy who really owns the company, the president, CEO, and he has a really just clean look to his watch. And Josh here did a really awesome review on it.
That's true. I guess I have had a little experience with that watch with a Microbrand, so I forgot about that. But yeah, that is a good one to mention.
Yeah, so I wanted to give him a mention because really nice guy, and just wanted to give him a shout out.
Yeah,
Mr. Zampieri.
Absolutely.
Ben Zampieri.
Nice.
So the first one we have today is the Christopher Ward limited edition.
Trident. Huh?
The Trident.
Yeah.
The bronze
That's a cool
I
watch.
probably don't need to do this because Josh is probably going to put this up on the screen, so he can
Yeah,
edit
it's
this
just
out.
for our reference. No, it's no problem.
So we're looking at a bronze case. We're looking at a limited edition. It's got the Salida SW movement in it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a larger watch at 43 millimeters.
Yeah.
But it's got some awesome water resistance.
Cool.
And what really strikes me about this watch is that pitchfork.
Yeah.
I've always loved that.
Yeah.
You know, it's the small things that really attract people
Right.
to a watch, and something as stupid as this, the Trident.
Yeah, that kind
really
of counterbalance on the second hand.
Yeah,
Is that
really.
what they call that?
Yeah, I think so. But it just, and I also like the other hands on this watch as well. I mean, look at that hour hand.
Very unique.
It looks like almost like a teardrop.
That's what I was thinking.
Right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people have criticized Christopher Ward for having their logo at the 9 o'clock position. Again, I like, to me, it's kudos for being different.
Sure.
And looking outside the box, even something as simple as that.
Yeah.
So, and this also puts me into a bronze watch for the first time.
And it's
so-
real bronze, not PVD.
and it's real bronze.
So that'll get the patina
exactly
if you want it. But I guess there's a way you can clean watches too if you don't really like that.
Chillin' with Watches has done a video. Shout out to you, buddy. In regards to reversing the process.
Oh, okay.
And you might want to check that out if you want to reverse that process. But
Now, how do you feel about the patina? Is that something you would want to let happen, or would you kind of want
Yeah.
to clean it off? Or
I think it's something I would at least want to try
okay, nice.
and see how far I can get it before I say, okay, it's time to clean this baby.
Yeah,
You
that
know?
would be cool to see how it kind of forms on your watch. You know.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where, like, I want to see how it happens. I think that I want it, but I probably don't. You know how that is. Like, you think you want something, and you're like, okay, I've had it, and it's really not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And I'd probably just clean it up and make it clean.
Right.
So.
Which is good that you can do that. It's not permanent. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Well, that's a nice piece. I like a lot what I have seen from Christopher Ward, and I might have one of those on my list here.
Well.
Let's look at the rest of yours first,
Okay.
though, okay? We'll go
Absolutely.
through all yours, and then we'll go through
All right.
mine. All right.
So number 2 is a company that I've had a lot of personal experience with. They're a family they're very close knit. They're just a really bunch of nice guys.
Yeah.
And that is the Swiss Watch Company.
Nice.
They sent me out a watch for review. I actually have the green version of this one.
Right.
But if you were to give me a choice, I like this black version with the orange
It's pretty cool.
the chapter ring.
I like it.
I think it's really, really neat.
Yeah, I like that.
The watch is kind of larger for most tastes, being at a 44 millimeter,
Right.
but they are producing watches that are in the 40 millimeter.
Okay.
And they're going to continue producing watches. So just a shout out to the Swiss Watch Company. If you can make this watch in a 40 to 42 millimeter, you got yourself a customer here. So.
That's good.
But I mean, they're using 20 layers of superluminova.
That's what I've loved about them.
This thing glows like crazy.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Their
And
lumen is something else.
when I first took this watch out of the box for the first time, I thought to myself, because I didn't know the price of the watch at the time. I'm like, this watch is definitely over $1,000.
Yeah.
But as you can see, it's $495.
Yeah.
Bargain.
Really a bargain for what you're getting.
It really is.
Man,
You're getting
the quality,
Swiss.
you know, the craftsmanship. I mean,
You're getting a Salida SW200
Yep.
movement in it. But just the craftsmanship, like one of the sons actually hand polishes and also hand brushes the cases. And so they're all individually touched by human hands.
right.
And it's not like machine work, you know? It's
Yeah.
just, so it's really,
That's
really
cool.
well done.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep, I've liked what I've seen from them. Haven't had my hands-on experience like you have, except for the one that you reviewed. I, you know, got to hold it at your house
Yeah.
and stuff. But definitely a quality
Little
piece.
bit large though, right?
It is. Yeah.
But if you're diving underwater and you want that water resistance that they have, which is on this one, it's 300 meters. Definitely a diver's watch, true
yeah.
diver's watch.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're getting the 20 layers of superluminova, you're going to see that in the murky waters.
Yeah, that's true.
No matter how far you dive down, you're going to see this watch.
Yep.
And it lasts. It really does.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I really like your last one. So that's
Yeah.
a cool piece.
So any subscriber to the channel knows that I'm a sucker for a Panda dial, even though I don't own one. And I really want to own one. And when Josh asked me about Microbrands, I kind of came across this Laurier because I was thinking to myself, I'm like, when you put me on the spot like that, I can't just name a brand.
Yeah.
So I'm looking through, I'm like, oh, I remember this brand.
Yep.
And it was actually a different orientation of this watch.
Okay.
So as I was looking further, I'm like, this one has a panda and a
Nice.
reverse panda.
Nice.
So this is the one I chose, the reverse panda.
Yeah.
$500.
Sure.
Case diameter, 39 millimeter.
Really nice size.
It's really, it's going to be a size that stays true. It will definitely stand the test of time for sure.
Yeah.
It's got a seagull movement at a $500 price point. You know, I'm a little
And that movement,
on the fence on that one.
as far as I understand, is not automatic. It's only hand winding. Is that true? Do you remember? Manual wind?
This one is just a hand. This is
Yeah.
a mechanical
So,
hand wound movement,
Which is unique. I don't think I've owned a watch that's just hand
yeah.
winding.
That doesn't bother me at all. But kind of like the watch I just reviewed, the Laco's brand, Laco 1925. You know, when you're getting to the $500 price point, you're getting into territory where you can definitely get a Swiss brand.
Sure.
Hamilton.
Yep.
You can get this guy for under $500.
Yes, it's true.
Tissot. You can get a beautiful Powermatic 80 for under $500. So
Yeah.
that's where I get a little bit hesitant, but I love the look of this watch. I love all the specs on it, except for the dome plexiglass.
Okay.
That one I'm a little bit against the fence, but this watch, the look of this watch, I don't know. I might forgive all that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
Cool piece.
yeah.
Chronograph. Nice.
But Laurier in general, just all their watches in general that I've seen, I really love the layout of the dials, the look of the watch. So
I've liked what I've
that's
seen.
why I
from
chose
them, too.
Laurier
Yeah.
for today.
That's good.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. It's a good segue into
Yeah, it's a good segue into your
my watches.
Your watches.
Well, those are great watches, Joe. Thanks for sharing those, bringing those in.
Absolutely.
I like everything that you showcased, and so
Absolutely, man.
I want to look at the ones that I was
Yeah,
thinking
what do you got
about.
here?
So,
It's funny because I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is one brand that I was going to say,
Yeah.
and I'm glad I didn't.
yeah,
Would have made it kind of for a boring video.
right. If we all came with the same watches, that's right. So the first one for me is this Notice Duality,
Okay.
and as you can see, it's a compressor style.
Mhm.
So like I
Noticed
said,
that.
I'm a sucker for these compressor style watches, and particularly this one. I have some different dial colors, but I like
Right.
this black and the little green accents that you see on
Yep,
there.
absolutely.
And the crowns are kind of unique in that they have knurling only on
Yes.
part of it. And something else unique is that they're signed. Both of the crowns are signed,
Okay.
and they're both loomed.
Ooh.
So that's a nice touch with this
Nice.
watch as well. But I've,
Very nice.
I've liked everything I've seen from Notice
Right.
that I've watched on YouTube. Seem like they make really high quality pieces.
Right.
This one's a little pricey. They make some cheaper than this. I mean, this one's going for $700. It's got a Miyota movement in it.
Wow.
It's not Swiss. Okay, it's
Yeah.
Japanese automatic. So they're cutting costs a little bit there. But saying that, it's not a bad movement. It's a hacking movement. It's a hand winding movement. It's an automatic. And they regulate all their movements in-house
Okay.
to a plus or minus 8 a day.
All right.
So at least they're
They're regulating it.
kind of, getting it up to their standards, you might say. But, I mean, the design is kind of almost a typical, really similar to even my Alpina with that inner rotating bezel, kind of the same look with the markers on that bezel and the numbers.
Right.
So I really like this style watch for sure. What do you think about it?
It's very clean, and I like that compressor style with the two crowns going on, and the green definitely makes it pop.
Yeah.
If it didn't have the green on there, I think it would probably be a little bit boring for me. But again, when I talk about stupid things that really make me drawn to a watch,
Yeah.
green highlights there,
Yeah.
really draw me to that watch.
Yeah. Yeah. That's something I like about
What
it,
is
too.
your thought on a Miyota movement being in a watch that is $700, even though it is regulated? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't think if I had a choice, I would, choose it if there was one that was 700 and had a Swiss movement and one
Right.
that was 700 and had the Miyota. I'd probably lean toward the Swiss, but
Does that make us watch snobs?
I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe for
Comment
another
below.
video.
Comment below what you guys think.
Yeah, let us know. Anyways, for the second one, it's a micro brand that is really popular. They've put out a lot of great pieces over the years. A lot of people are big into them, and it's Zelos. And I could have chose a couple watches from this company, and really honestly I like a couple watches from Notice as well. But for Zelos, I went for the Horizons version 2 GMT, and specifically this Frost version. Now of course with most Zelos watches they sell out like that. This isn't even available, and of course that duality is gone too.
Wow.
They're planning to make more.
Okay.
I'm not sure about this particular Zelos, but about the Zelos, something that's unique about it is, of course, it's a GMT, but this dial, this particular Frost version, the dial is actually loomed.
Oh.
There's so much loom on this watch. The bezel is loomed, of course the indices, everything, and then the dial itself is loomed.
Can you do a loom shot for us?
Absolutely.
Yeah, please.
So
that's interesting.
it's pretty cool. Definitely a loom monster. And Zelos is a company that's known for loom as well, kind of like the Swiss watch company. You know, as they've been out there for a few years, people know them for those 20 layers of loom. Zelos is big on loom too, and that's one thing I like about this watch.
You know what pops out to me? Again, thinking stupid. What do you think?
The orange.
Oh, absolutely.
Orange accents on there.
If I were to create a watch, all of my watches would have a red accent of some sort.
Yeah.
It just makes a watch pop.
Yeah. No, it's
and I
nice.
like what these company does here as well.
Right. It's nice to throw in a little pop of color with all the white that's going on there. So I agree with that. The orange GMT hand there.
Very clean dial.
And it's a domed, boxed sapphire crystal. So it's similar to even my Alpina, where it's domed and boxed like that.
Gotcha.
Sapphire. So very nice touch.
Very clean watch, man. Very clean. It looks like it'll be a classic for years to come, even. You know.
And then the last one for me is interesting because you already had a Christopher Ward.
Yes.
And I'm going for one too.
No Trident on this one, though.
No, this is similar case shape as far as I know, but this is the C65 Dartmouth is what they call it. And has the same movement as the Trident, the Solida SW200, but the different thing about this one is that this one's COSC certified, so it's a chronometer.
That's big.
So it goes through all those extra stages of testing and make sure it holds that plus 4 to 6 seconds per day, plus or minus, I believe, is what they're going for.
Yeah, they're very stringent on COSC certification. You really have to have that movement set to certain limits.
And they do it in different settings, different angles, and so it's a chronometer.
Impressive.
And it's for around $1,000 on the bracelet. You can find it cheaper on some straps, but you know, this watch really reminded me a little bit of the Seamaster, which as I was reading on their website, they took some design features from it.
You can totally see that.
But what about the Tudor Black Bay 58? Look at the crown.
The crown, and even the bezeling, the edging of the bezel.
Yep.
It's got that
little bit,
that same kind of grip.
Even the case shape a little bit.
The case shape,
similar.
Even a little bit of the bracelet.
Yeah.
But I think the dial itself, totally Seamaster.
Yeah.
Not a copy.
No.
I wouldn't even call it a homage.
No.
But it's definitely inspired.
Some inspiration for sure. But I love that crown. It's a little bit chunkier.
I like chunky crowns.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's easy to set, easy to wind.
Yeah.
That's why I like this Hamilton here. Same thing. You can get it.
That's a good crown.
Right. Exactly.
So, you know, being a chronometer and having that, you know, just this whole design features of this watch I really like. It has a domed boxed sapphire as well, which is kind of a vintage feel to it. The interesting thing with Christopher Ward that I've seen a lot on their watches is 150 meters of water resistance.
I was just looking at that.
Does that hit you the wrong way?
I was going to ask you because it doesn't seem to be a lot of water resistance.
Yeah, you know, it's more than
for
100.
a diver.
It's more than 100, but it's just, for me, it's like, why can't they just go 200? You know, have a nice, you know, number like 200.
Well, here's the thing. I'm wondering, are they going for a case thickness like you see here, 11 and a half?
Yeah, it's pretty thin.
If you're going to get water resistance at the 300 meters or more, you're going to be up in the 13 to 14 millimeter case diameter, because you have to have basically more.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
You do, yeah. It's
Yeah,
gonna
so
be a lot
they're
thicker
typically
watch.
a thicker watch. So I'm wondering if they were going for more of a thinner look.
Yep.
And sacrificing water resistance for that.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Well, man, I like all your picks, and it's funny that
it's mutual.
We both had a Christopher Ward.
Yeah.
So guys, down in the comments, I want you to share maybe one or two of your favorite micro brands, and name a particular watch that you really enjoy. Maybe you have it in your collection. Maybe you're looking to buy it. Let us know that down in the comments, and then let us know what you think about our picks. Do you like what we've showcased today? And for me, and maybe even Joe, which one do you think we should buy out of the three? What would you buy out of our choices first? So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Thanks to Average Joe for coming to the channel. We're going to do a video on his channel as well, so go over to his channel, subscribe if you're not subscribed, check out the second part to our conversation over there on his channel. But that's it for today, guys. Please leave a like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time on J City Reviews.